That here?
Yeah. Alright,
A
so
little bit
do you want
more
to
light.
um, start us off with the name of the book and everything?
The Count of Monte Cristo by a gentleman named Alexander Dumas. This book, I thought it was written in the 1700s, but it turns out it's the mid 1800s,
No. Okay.
1844 to 46, to be a little bit exact. Now, I read several versions of this book, um, and as I was doing my research, and I've never actually done research on the book, like actually gone and looked at what other people said it was about or how it was published or anything like that, and I did find some interesting facts, and it has actual kind of relations to early days Royal Road. You're
Oh.
familiar with what Royal Road is,
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
I'm obviously familiar with it. So interestingly enough, and I didn't know this until today, that the Count of Monte Cristo and actually the Three Musketeers, which he also wrote,
Okay.
was a serialization. Like it was published in the newspapers on a weekly basis, chapter by chapter, and it ran from 1844 to 1846.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize that. And that also led me down a different rabbit hole of looking up different other books that were known that started off as serializations as well. I may be saying this word wrong, so fine.
No, you're not. Serialization
So don't hold
is
me to it.
the correct term. It's not novelization yet because it's in a book, in its own little book for
Right.
novelization.
So the only book that I was really familiar with that was a serialization was Sherlock Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
And, that made sense to me because it was a bunch of short stories, right?
Exactly.
So, and that's a topic we can get on to at another day too, because I was
Okay.
I've read most of his stories. Again, it's been a long time, but like I've got this really thick Sherlock Holmes, and it goes all the way through like the Eileen Adlers and not Mordecai, but
Oh,
whoever his head,
Moriarty.
whoever his head. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The head guy. We can even go into like different renditions of Sherlock Holmes and how he's been portrayed in the movies and theaters and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
So, The Count of Monte Cristo. You've seen the movie,
Yes.
a movie.
I've seen a movie,
So you're-
not the newest one, but the one that had. I can't remember the actor's name. I'll have to look it up myself. Now that
It
I'm
doesn't
thinking
matter.
about it.
It's all right.
But yes, I have seen the movie.
It's a story of revenge.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story of well plotted revenge. A man that played the long game, who was wronged early in his life, and came back many years later and kind of set some things into motion for the downfall of everyone that kind of screwed him. So like I don't see why we can't just blow through this book, considering it's been around so long. If anybody actually watches this, spoiler alert.
No, that's fine. It's like that's kind of like what I was doing with the first book of Fred. It's been out for so long that it's like, let's just run through the whole of it just to give a nice summary of it.
All right, perfect. So I'll try and I'll break it down to kind of into the sections, and then we can just kind of go through the quick points of each section. Again, I don't have this down to a science, so mind me as I skip around. So it's going to start off with him as a young man. He's in love. He's the first mate of a ship, a merchant ship. Again, this takes place in the 1800s, the post-Napoleon era. They're still Bonapartists. There's still people that are loyal to Napoleon, even though he's been exiled. Some things happen, and our main character, Edmond Dantes, finds himself in some legal trouble, finds himself locked up. He eventually escapes, finds this treasure, and then from the treasure on, he kind of starts his plotting and his revenge. And it's very... I mean, I found it interesting. I was also young when I read it and felt like I'd been wronged by the world, and so this idea of getting revenge on those who wronged me, even though I was probably the person that wronged myself, you know, it captured a part of me, and it's well done. You know, it's not like this isn't a book where like he got big and strong and then went around and dueled everybody and killed them and stuff like that. It's some of it's psychological, some of it's financial, some of it's just like, let me just give you enough rope to hang yourself with. It's kind of psychological in some regards. So, you know, there's a lot of elements that go into his revenge, and there's a lot of plotting that's involved that you really like. You don't, you read the story, you listen to what happens, and then it's like once the revenge is kind of complete, the pieces all kind of fall together. Like, oh, that's why all this other stuff was done, kind of thing.
Gotcha. It's kind of like
so. Yeah.
Oh, what is it? Jekyll and Hyde, where there's the actions of one of them brings down the rest of the story, basically. Gotcha.
It's been a long time since I read Jekyll and Hyde.
Me too. I have the book actually like next to me in my drawer over here, but it's been a while.
We could always fall back on more classics if we needed to, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I would love to cover the Divine Comedy too. Like, my brother has a very nice copy of that with gold leaf pages and everything. So like,
how about Dante's Inferno?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The 9 levels of hell.
Yeah. The whole
7 circles of hell.
Yeah. 7. Is it 7? Or is it? It's 7. Yeah. It's 7. One for each sin. That's right.
It might be 9. I forget. It's 7 or 9.
9, because there might be the beginning purgatory counted, and then the final pit of the worst betrayers counted as well.
I know the first one and the last one. And those are the ones that I remember for some reason. The cool thing I liked about that, well, one of the cool things about that story in particular is that purgatory, your only punishment was that you just knew you weren't getting into heaven.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't actually being tortured.
Nope.
You were just knew that this is where I'm going to be.
Yep, you're like, this is it. I got to make this work.
You're not being stabbed, and then abandoned, I think, is the last level of hell.
I think so.
And then and he depicts the devil as kind of like this. He's demon with the wings but he's half encased in ice. Or something like that. It's again, it's been 20 plus years since I read that.
It's the same. It's been 10 to 20 years myself. I read it a long time ago. Maybe not 20, but it's been a long time. Here. There you go. Yeah. Got the Strange Case of Jekyll and Hyde right here. So it's another one of those ones I like to have, even though I stole it from a teacher.
What do they say? Free books. Thieves don't steal books. No, I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. I get into these euphemisms and I kind of like screw them up. I'm like the Tool Man Taylor with like. You remember that show?
Oh yeah. I don't remember the name.
He would say one thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Loose lips throw at glass houses or some shit like that. You know.
You just get it wrong on purpose.
No, it's on accident. I'm not meaning to get it wrong.
Oh no, I know you're saying it on accident. He says it wrong on purpose though, like all the time in the show.
Right. All right. Any initial questions about Count of Monte Cristo?
Is it in France, if I'm not mistaken, right? It takes place in France.
Starts off in France. Yeah, it begins in France, and then it kind of it's in the sea for a second, and then it's in Italy for a moment, and then then the rest of the story takes place in Paris or thereabouts.
I forget that they actually go to Italy as well.
Right, and that's where one of the different versions of the books is I'll bring that up when we get to that point.
Oh, okay, sweet.
But yeah, 18th century France, post-Napoleon period. Here we go. So, the book starts off with, like I said, Edmond Dantes is our main character. He's a 19-year-old sailor. He's the first mate of this ship called the Pharaon, Pharaon.
Okay.
Pharaon. On his trip it's a merchant ship. It's owned by this particular family named. I mean, the name isn't all that important, but it's named by a family. It's owned by a company that is ran by a family. On this journey, I believe that if I remember correctly, the captain dies of I don't know, old age, something, syphilis, scurvy, something, whatever people died of back in those days.
Everything in all the between.
Right. But before the captain died, they had stopped in Versailles.
Yeah.
That might be wrong.
No,
they stopped wherever.
Oh, the location might be wrong. Gotcha.
What I'm talking about. They stopped wherever Napoleon was exiled from.
Oh, and then it would be Versailles because it's the Treaty of Versailles.
Okay, thank you. And there's a letter that exchanged hands that was asked to be delivered, and this was done by the. I'm apologize if I'm getting this wrong. I think the captain went there and stopped, talked to somebody, was given a letter. He gave the letter to Dantes before he died, and was like, "Hey, can you deliver this to so and so, to a particular individual, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And Edmund, not knowing what the contents of the letter is or whatever, is just like, "Sure, I'll do it." They get into port. The family greets him. The owner of the ship greets him. Great. I'm glad you guys are back. We got our merchandise. Hey, by the way, the captain died. And Edmund kind of keeps this letter to himself for the most part. He kind of relays all the information of what happened on the trip to the owner of the company, and then he's like, "Hey, I gotta go. I gotta make sure my dad's okay because his dad is like halfway ill or just not well. He's not like sick per se, but he has problems taking care of himself."
Gotcha.
And he's also in love. He's got this very beautiful woman that's, same age, waiting for him, a lady named Mercedes. If I get that name wrong, I'd be upset. It's Mercedes.
Yeah, I don't think you got it wrong. I feel like it is Mercedes.
Yeah, Mercedes is correct. And so he meets with her. They're in love. They're aiming to get married. He has a guy who is a friend who is kind of also halfway like a suitor of sorts to Mercedes. Like, he has feelings towards Mercedes and he's a little bit jealous. This is a guy named Fernand. He's a little bit jealous of their relationship. He's kind of been keeping Mercedes entertained while Edmund has been working on his job. And feels a little entitled to her, even though she's in love with Edmund. But Edmund doesn't have like the means to marry her, that whole like dowry thing or being able to support. He's a first mate on the ship, which is a decent job and a decent wage, but it's, I don't know, maybe the family needs more or some shit. But with the death of the captain, when he's talking with the owner of the ship, who really likes him, he's like, "Man, you're going to be our dude. Like, you're going to be our next captain. We're just going to put the paperwork through. Next time we ship out, you are the guy." And so with that news and with reuniting with his love, he's like, life's great, right? Mm-hmm. I'm about to be the captain of my own merchant ship. I'm about to marry the woman of my dreams, my love of my life interest. Things are going good. Now there's a guy on the ship, a dude named... Where There's three guys. There's three main people that get in his way. The Danglers? That's right. There's a dude named Danglers who is also another one of the first mate, or he's another one of the high-ranking officers on this merchant ship.
Mm-hmm.
And he feels entitled to the captain's job.
Okay.
I
think I remember.
And then you it's a guy named Danglers.
Mm-hmm.
He eventually becomes a baron of some sort. So we've got we have three protagonists, or enemies, or rivals, or whatever you want to call them, right? We've got Fernand, who is the love interest of his lady Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Danglers, who is basically the business. He's jealous because of the career advancement that he's going to be that Edmond Dantes is going to be making.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got his neighbor, who's just kind of this shady dude. He's just like he's kind of like a burglar of sorts, like he's a petty criminal of sorts. He's shady, and his name is Keteros. I don't know how to pronounce it. Caderousse.
I think Keteros is right.
Keteros.
I think that's right.
So, as Edmund gets the news of it, he's going to be the captain. Mercedes kind of shows up, and he's talking about it, and they're getting ready to celebrate, and they're walking off down the street to go tell their father. These three guys, for whatever reason, are kind of all standing in the same place, kind of basically griping about this guy's life and his successes and how he doesn't deserve it, or it's not fair, or it should be me kind of thing.
Mm.
And so the other first mate, Danglers, is like, well, hey, we stopped in Versailles. I don't know what we stopped in Versailles is, but I know that dude got a letter, and he's supposed to deliver it to somebody. And Fernand is like, oh, really? That wouldn't have anything to do with, Napoleon or anything. And I don't remember exactly why Cardos was there, but he's essentially like an eyewitness or a character witness of sorts to Edmund's character. And what happens is that the three guys, they basically come up with a story that that Edmund he's in the bag with Napoleon, and he is a Bonapartist, and that's like, I guess that's like a Nazis of their day or something.
Kind of.
He's going to try and bring this guy back into power, kind of thing, right? Let's take this to the local magistrate. Tell him about the letter, and that he visited the guy, this guy in Versailles, and let's see if we can let's knock him down a few pegs, essentially, right?
Mm.
And so that happens, and Dante gets pulled into a meeting with this. Essentially, he's a detective, magistrate, trying to make a name for himself. Everyone's got their families, and you got to keep respect, not on my house and shit like that. And so he's questioning Edmund, and Edmund's honest with him. He's not like trying to hide anything. He's like, yeah, I got this letter. I don't know what it's about. I've never read it. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know its contents. I don't know where it came from. I just know that before the captain died, he did get the letter in Versailles. He asked me to deliver it on his deathbed, and on my honor, I'm gonna do that. And even though this detective is like kind of probe him and trying to get anything out of him that he can stick to him, it's like these guys, he hasn't really done anything wrong. He appears innocent. He seems straightforward. He seems like he's honest. All right, Edmund. Yeah, thanks for the information. Yeah, you can go. And as he's leaving, he's like, by the way, that whole like Columbo play kind of thing. He's like, who was the letter to? And Dante gets the letter out, and he looks at it, and he says the name of the guy he's supposed to deliver it to, and it just happens to be the magistrate's father. And through some kind of deduction in his mind, the magistrate figures out that his father is the Bonapartist. He is in cahoots with Napoleon, and he is a sympathizer, and that this would bring great dishonor upon their family if anybody was to find out that this guy's father was supposed to receive this letter. It would ruin his career. It would ruin everything with his life. The family would be shamed, if not arrested. And so the guy's like, no, you're actually under arrest. You're not free to go. And let me see that letter. And he destroys the letter. Okay, so there's no evidence of the wrongdoing, but you have these 3 other witnesses, the Fernand, Danglars, and the neighbor guy, that are like, yeah, this dude's shady. He visited Napoleon. He's a bad person. He needs to go be locked up in prison forever and ever. And that's a very abridged version. Don't get me wrong. They don't go into great detail about it, and this all happens in the first couple chapters. And obviously, this is devastating news. He's being framed. He's getting dragged away, and they're going to send him to a place called Chateau d'If, which is like, I don't know, a triple max prison in American equivalents, right?
Yeah, I'd say a bit worse because they treated them very poorly.
Yeah, this is like, there is no yard time. You piss in the ground in your cell, kind of, medieval prison that's on this cliff way off in the middle off to the side of the country where nobody could go and impossible to escape and all that good stuff, right? So any questions so far?
No, not at all.
All right. So Edmund gets whisked away to prison. He's devastated. He's depressed. He's asking everything within his power to, just be heard, essentially. And like, the guy that runs the prison is in cahoots with the magistrate, and they just want this dude buried, like essentially forgotten. Lock him up, throw away the key, and we'll all be fine. We'll all thrive. Everybody else will thrive, right? And that's essentially what happens. And so he has a rough go at it. Edmund has a rough go at it for a while, obviously. And, depression. You go through the 5 cycles of what you go through when you go into prison, which is no fun. And when he's, and he eventually gets to the point, and this is after a couple of years in there of prison, and we're not talking like a couple months, after a couple of years of there in prison, I don't remember exactly how many. Edmund's just basically like, fuck this, I'm gonna kill myself, right? This is just
too much.
I'm not doing this. And I don't know if it's a couple nights before he's able to like devise whatever he needs to devise, way that he's gonna either hang himself or slit his wrist or something like that. The cobblestones of his cell shake and move, and this fucking old man comes out of this hole in the ground, essentially. And Edmund's like, what the fuck is going on? And this guy's like, oh shit, I miscalculated. Edmund's like, well, who the fuck are you? And he's like, I'm another prisoner here. I was supposed to be digging out to the yard to escape, but I missed. I obviously did not make it to the yard. I made it to your cell. And they get to talking, and then the time comes when like a cell check or whatever it is, so the old man has to like crawl his ass back to his own cell and make it look like nothing's happening and hope that Edmund doesn't say something, right? And he doesn't. Edmund doesn't say anything, and the next day the dude comes back. Hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm a prisoner here just like you. I've been digging for the past several years this tunnel to kind of escape and get out of here. Do you want to be friends? Like something like that, right? It's an older guy. His name is Abi Ferrari? What the fuck is his name?
Ferreira.
I should probably keep my swearing down
Faria?
since.
Abe Ferreira.
Yes, thank you. Korea. Yes. That's right
And
there.
you're good. I
Right there on my
don't care about the swearing. I put it on the YouTube channel, not for kids, so don't worry.
Heard. Fair enough. Faria, correct. Abi Faria. He was a priest at some point. I forget what he got locked up for. But he's there. He's trying to dig his way out. He's an educated man. We're talking the sciences, the arts, history. I don't know. I don't think he was. Was he? I don't think so. I don't think he was like a sword fighter. I think he was just like an educated man. So what happens is that Dante's and Faria come to an understanding that like we're gonna help each other, right? We're gonna keep digging this tunnel. You're gonna help me, and in exchange, or not, and in addition, it's not an exchange. And in addition, I'm gonna be your teacher. I'm gonna teach you about science, and I'm gonna teach you about English or literature. I'm gonna teach you about history. I'm going to teach you about, what are the royals called?
Nobility.
What are their lifestyle? What's that?
Nobility.
I'm going to teach you about nobility and status and everything that I know. I'm gonna just pour into you because what else are we doing? We're rotting in ourselves, right?
Exactly.
And so you probably saw this in the movie at some point where like they're digging and he's telling them stories and digging and stories and math and English and all this stuff. And this takes place over the course of 10, 15 years. Like this is no short montage, right? This is,
Years
so
of
Dante,
digging in stories.
Exactly. And learning and educating. And then eventually the priest tells him, I know where there's a buried treasure. And Dante's like, whatever. Whatever, old man. This is why they call you the crazy priest or whatever the guards called him and whatnot. But he's like, no, for real. It's like, there's this place. This is where it's at. This is how you get there. I forget where exactly. It's it's one of these almost like X marks the spot kind of things.
Gotcha.
It's on this isle in the Mediterranean. I don't know, you can only go in there at low tide or some shit like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and Dante's is like, sure, that's great. He's like, no, you need to memorize this. When we get out, we're going there and we're getting that shit. And Dante's is like, sure, whatever. And so they continue on with this journey. And I forget, let me just look this up. Let me just find out how long I want to say it was like 20 years he was in prison.
I think that it's about 20. I think you're right. Might be a little shorter or a little longer, but
14.
Okay.
14. Okay. Still, that's a fucking long time.
Oh yeah.
So he goes in at 19, 14 years later, through this relationship with this old guy and digging tunnels and all this education, the old man dies. And so this is obviously devastating to Dante. They were close to where they thought they were going to be in the tunnel, to escaping. When I say close, it was like they were, 2 more years of digging and they would have been out kind of close.
Yeah.
And he's devastated. He's in his cell. He's like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And then, he relies on his education from this old man. And there's a way that, they dispose of bodies in the prison. And again, maybe you saw this in the movie. What they do is that at a dead body in there, they take a candle and they hold it to your foot, right? And they leave it there for a while to make sure that you're dead. Not just like Princess Bride dead.
Yeah.
Mostly dead.
Not the mostly dead thing where you have to have the pill of rejuvenation or whatever it is.
Yeah, there's my card deck right there.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
And so, they verify that he's dead, and, Dante's is listening. I don't remember if he's in the pit listening from the floor, through the floorboards, if it's like at the next cell over listening kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he hears him go through the motions of finding out this guy's dead, and that they've bagged him, and that they're going to, basically throw him off a cliff. They're going to bury him, and so Dante's comes up with the bright ideas. And when the guards leave, he removes them from the sack that they've put the body in, takes the dead body into his cell, makes it look like he's sleeping, and replaces himself and puts himself in the bag, sews it from the inside, kind of thing, and waits. And basically, eventually that night, the guards come in, and they lift up the body bag, carry him outside, and throw him off a cliff into the ocean. Where I think he had a knife or whatever his cutting tool was for the digging, and he's able to cut the bag, free himself from the bag, and make it back to the surface before he drowned. Okay, boom, he's a free man. From there he swims. I don't exactly remember where he goes, but he swims. And gets away. He eventually finds himself at some kind of almost like I view it as kind of like this Jack Sparrow kind of Tortuga kind of place where he partners up, or he gets saved. Did he get saved? I forget. Maybe he gets pulled out of the water by pirates.
It has been a while. I could not tell you from my experience with the movie. It's been a long while.
I forget how did he get saved? I forget if he went to a town and hooked up with them and was like, I'll work for free. Swims to safety. Okay, yeah, he goes to. Okay, yeah, I mean it's basically a Jack Sparrow scenario. He swims to a nearby island where there happens to be, at some point, smugglers go there to kind of exchange goods. He barters himself as, I'll work, my way back. He doesn't say who he is or whatever, and the smugglers bring him on. They're like, fine, all right, pull your weight and we'll do this. And so what happens is that he eventually, he works with these guys for however long it takes him to buy his own ship. And it's not even really a ship. It's more like some kind of paddle boat.
Paddle boat. Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm not familiar with. It's bigger than a paddle boat, but it's,
smaller than like the big ships pirates had.
Yeah, I don't remember what the name of these ships are.
Well, there's a sloop, galleon, and brigantine. Brigantine being the biggest, sloop being the smallest, and it's a single sail vessel.
Probably a swoop. Probably the smallest version of a swoop.
Sloop.
Then.
S-L-O.
Sloop. Sloop. Today I learned. Thank you.
Yeah. I play Sea of Thieves. I like that game a lot.
I'm just reading something real quick.
Oh, yeah, you're good. Fun little thing I did for Sea of Thieves while you were reading that. I named my sloop what was it? It's like the Black Dove, I think is the name, and it's Jack Sparrow's sloop that he acquires at one point in the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. Man, I love that movie, I'll be honest. The first time I saw that theater, my mind was just like...
Oh, yeah. Especially because the first one has all the skeleton crew and everything in it.
First one was my favorite by far. I was like that after I saw that movie. I'm like, they're never gonna be able to make another pirate movie again, like without him. I'm like, it was fucking perfect.
Yeah, Depp and Orlando Bloom carried that movie so hard.
It was great.
Oh, and
so great.
The Sparrow's first mate, I can't remember his name right now. That guy also, love that guy. Dude with the handkerchief around his neck, the whole movie. Gibbs, I think, is what
Oh,
his
that
name
guy. I
is.
was thinking of the other captain. I was thinking of Captain
Oh,
Barbosa.
Barbosa's not bad, but like, I don't know. I really enjoyed the little snippets between Sparrow and his first mate.
Yeah, he always had the answers, right? Like he was like,
Kind of. He was more like, I drink and I know things.
yeah, right. That's a good analogy. All right. So Dante's he works for these smugglers until he has enough money to have his own ship, and then I think he goes and he finds the Isle of Monte Cristo, which is this. Does he stop there or like? Yeah, it doesn't matter. He eventually makes his way to the isle where the priest said that the treasure was, and he finds the treasure. So he goes from, and I think it takes him like 2 years or something like that to actually do all this stuff. But he goes from being a smuggler to being like, generational wealth for his next 100.
7, 8 generations, however many it is.
Yeah, multiple generations, forever and ever kind of thing. And from there, the story stops. And it automatically fast forwards to Italy, right? And so this is where one of the things that piqued my interest is because when I read the first book, the first time I read it, when they're in Italy, so they're in Italy, they're there for a masquerade, this yearly masquerade that happens for the entire town. It's this huge week-long party. And during this party, there's some public executions. Okay.
Very on brand for medieval.
Right. And now he is now there. Edmund is now there. He's no longer Edmund Dantes. He is the Count of Monte Cristo. He is wealthy. He has servants. He has,
luxuries in life and everything like that.
Everything.
Women fawning over him, all that stuff.
Everything that comes with that lifestyle, right? Mm-hmm. And so the first time I read this book, he's there, he's entertaining some people, they're at this hanging. And right about when these people are about to get hanged, they all get pardoned. Like there's a sudden last minute, it's not happening, you guys have been set free, right?
Interesting.
And you're like, okay, well, that didn't really make sense. Oh God, I know I'm missing something here. The Count of Monte Cristo, he is there to befriend a kid named Edmund.
Okay.
Edmund.
Here, let me try to help here.
Edmund. Yes, Edmund. No, not Edmund.
Is it Albert?
Albert, yes, thank you.
Albert Mundengo.
The son of Fernand, as it turns out.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
It's coming in, getting a little memory jog there.
Yeah, because the son is played by Henry Cavill in that movie, and I distinctly remember him having a scene with his father as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a stellar cast for that movie, by the way. It's Jim Caviezel, Guy Pearce, Henry Cavill, Richard Harris.
Okay, yeah, that was a good one. Mm-hmm. That is a little pretty accurate for the most part. So Albert is at this party, and he gets himself into he gets kidnapped, basically.
Yep.
And he gets kidnapped by these pirates. And you come to find out that some of these pirates were the ones that are about to get hung in this, and that were freed, right? And then Albert, he's he's kidnapped. They have him at the secret hideout. He's drunk. He really doesn't know what's going on.
Oh yeah, he's just shit-faced and is like, "Hey guys, how we doing today?"
Yeah, and and he's an aristocrat of sorts. So they're like, he's like, yeah. When my father finds out about this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
So anyhow, he's there, he's drunk, and then the next thing you know, he's getting freed. Somebody has come in and bargained for his freedom, and when he sobers up in a hotel later on the next day, it turns out that's the Count of Monte Cristo.
Mm-hmm.
That did this. Now, the second time I read the book, they didn't talk about the hangings or those people getting freed. Okay. And there's more background on Albert. And then when you get to the cave scene, there's a lot of dialogue between the pirate king, or the head of the pirates, and the Count of Monte Cristo. And whereas in the first book, the Count of Monte Cristo showed up and it was like, okay,
job's over. We got our money. Go away.
Exactly. You paid your ransom. Fuck is this guy? You think I would keep better notes here?
It's all right. I do it sometimes where I write stuff down and it's not exactly what I need.
It's not in the order that I want it.
Yeah, I tried to. A little tip for you, at least for next time. I tried to keep it chapter by chapter and make extensive notes and then just shorten them down, revise them.
Okay. Yeah, I printed them out in bullet points, and this is failing me.
No, it's all right. It happens. Give me one moment to get out of this hoodie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Blech.
Cat's trying to break in here.
Let's do that. Okay. There we go. Sorry, it was just getting extremely hot in that hoodie.
Vampa. That's the guy's name. Luigi Vampa is the name of the pirate. Or a bandit, depending on how you want to call it.
Okay, I remember him. I remember him from the movie too. Okay. I got the casting pulled up on the side so I can see the actor in the face with the name on the character so I can remember efficiently.
Pull that up too. I should probably pull that up too.
No,
I should probably pull that up too. That's a good idea.
That's up to you. I just have it so that I can really check it out and get the actual names of the people with the faces of what I remember. And that was J.D. Blanc in the movie. J.B. Blanc.
Okay, so all of this is to set up. So it turns out that, I mean, you come to later find out that the bandit and the Count of Monte Cristos are basically homeboys. I think the bandit was one of the original smugglers that he hooked up with in the beginning. And when he left the smugglers, somebody came with him. Another guy came with him as kind of like his right hand of sorts. I forget that guy's name, but it's neither here nor there. So he saves Albert. Albert's singing his praises in Italy. My family will love you. You must meet my family. You must do this. You must do that. And he's like, oh, that's great, because I'm going to be in Paris in a little while, and maybe I can come visit you, right? Mm-hmm. And Albert's like, for sure. And so that's essentially what happens. That's how Dante gets his foot into the nobles or the aristocrat or the high society. That's his doorway in, besides his wealth. Mm-hmm. Like, he's already going in there with status, right? He saved this Monte Fernandez account by the time all this is up, right? So I don't know exactly where Count falls in the noble ladder, but it's got a title, so it's important.
If I'm not mistaken, it goes Baron then Count. So he's like near the bottom rung, but he's not at the very bottom rung. I could be wrong. In fact, let me double check.
I have no idea. So we're going to take your definition for it. Well, as it turns out, Count of Monte Cristo goes up there, and the first thing that he does is that he inquires about his dad. But mind you, he's coming in as a different person, so he's not like, hey, it's my dad kind of thing. He sends whoever his lackey is, he sends him off, go find information about X, Y, and Z. I want to know what happened, basically. Now he's like kind of on this intelligence gathering. He knows who screwed him. He knows who the 3 guys are that plotted against him, right? He's trying to figure out, let me find out what has happened over the last course of the 15 or 20 years that I've been away.
Gotcha.
If not longer, because, obviously Fernand didn't have a kid when this was all happening, and now he's got like an adult son or a 20-something son, right?
Yeah.
Ron, maybe more like a teenager. And so what he finds out is that his dad's dead, that he died of sickness, and that the family that ran the shipping yard, or the ship that he used to work for, went out of their way to kind of take care of the dad.
Okay.
In Dante's absence, right? And they've kind of fallen on hard times. I think they lost a ship to the storms, and they just had a couple of bad luck, and like their family business is pretty much non-existent, and they're on the brink of poverty and all that stuff. And so Dante in the background pays off their debt, essentially. Dresses up, he's got several disguises that he shows up as. He doesn't just show up as the Count. He shows up as
a random beggar. I think at one point he shows up as like
beggar,
somewhat
a priest.
Yeah, a priest
right.
in one of them.
A priest as well. So he shows up as a priest, as a part of a wealthy family, and gives these guys gives them a diamond, kind of thing.
Also, quick little thing. It goes Baron, Viscount, Count, Marquis, Duke, Prince, King.
Publication history.
And it's
publication history. Publication history.
Interesting. I didn't know a female Marquis has an E at the end of it. Interesting.
And that's like the designation for it?
Yeah, so like Baron gets Baroness, Viscount gets Viscountess, Count, Countess, Marquis, Dutch, or Duke, Duchess, Prince, Princess.
Let me just look back at my fucking notes here.
You're fine.
Just want to know the name of Morale. The Moral family, Morrel. He dresses Abby Busani from Italy. He basically is, indirectly gives them a lifeline so that the family can be afloat. By the end of the story, he reestablishes them as a merchant family. He gives them the ship. He gives them a brand new ship. He pays off all of their debts. He stops them from, at one point, like the head of the family was ready to kill himself because of how much grief has been caused, and he averts that. So he kind of takes care of that family specifically because they had not only taken care of his father in his absence, they had routinely advocated to see him in prison, to speak on his behalf in prison, to try and get some kind of justice for him over the course of, a certain amount of time. I don't know how long they did it, but like it's just known that they were part of it, even putting themselves at risk because of what's that?
This is probably like the first 5-10 years they were probably trying to
something like that. Maybe even less than that. Probably more like 5, I'd imagine.
I would imagine 5.
I think at some point they said he's dead.
Yeah, because the
Like they said,
Marquis
Dante was dead.
specifically, the Marquis specifically wanted to bury him and not let him out. Period.
Exactly. So he finds out about that, takes care of them, and then he enters the public life with the nobles through Albert and Fernand, and so this is kind of his first test. Are you going to recognize me? I look different. I sound different. I am different. Do I look the same? And it's kind of, and so and when he meets him, obviously they're he shows him a lot of respect. You saved my son, blah blah blah. Let me show you all my shiny things. And one of those shiny things is Mercedes. So as you remember, he was courting her. He was jealous. Well, they got married. They had Albert, and they are living. They're living a life of luxury. They're essentially living the life that Dante's would have been living, had he not been
wrongfully
betrayed.
Convicted. Yeah.
And so I think he gets a little taken back about the Mercedes thing, and it's kind of hinted at that she like halfway maybe recognizes his eyes. Kind of thing, the look in his eyes or the way that his eyes are set, or there's a hint of Dante still within the guy's character, right? And so he becomes buddy with these people to a small degree. He's got business throughout the city, and he's kind of in and out of their graces. I mean, not their graces, in and out of their presence for the course of the next however long he's in town for.
Yeah, a few months to years, however long it is.
And so then he wants to find out about who's the other guy. There's Danglers, who was the other ship guy who wanted his job, right? And then there was the guy's name that I couldn't pronounce.
Abe, no, because... Wait, is it Abe?
Cataros.
Oh, Cataros, that's right.
And then actually, well, he added another foe, and then there's the Villefort guy. Villefort is the prosecutor. He's the guy whose dad was going to get the letter.
The Villefort, okay, got you. I remember him. The face is really what sticks out to me for that one, but yeah.
Which guy is he there?
James Frayne. He's played a few villains over the years.
Oh, Richard Harris.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? It's like stacked cast for this movie. It really was.
So this is where these with Villefort and Cataros, I kind of drew a blank on these ones when I was remembering, and I had to rely heavily on summaries from other people or the internet to remind me exactly what happened with these guys. But Villefort is a famous and a high-ranking official within the magistrate and the law offices. Cataros is still kind of this like thieving character that never really got his life together. So the Count of Monte Cristo's approaches Cataros, the criminal guy. He approaches him, and he tests him by, I don't know. There's like he tells him about some place that there's some wealth somewhere, and then the guy ends up like stealing a diamond and killing some people for it. Oh. And the test was to see what this guy would do for the money, which he failed.
Miserably, I
Right? Yeah, he hasn't changed.
Yeah, not at all.
No. And I mean, he approached him, and then I think he approached him as the Abbey, the same guy that helped out the family, the Morals.
Priest. I remember now.
and then he gets like, is he the one that goes? One of them. No, that's. Is that the guy?
Might be. Or are you thinking of?
Well, I'm thinking of his end, how he ends.
Oh.
Because one of them, I mean, it's interesting in the sense, the book is interesting in the sense, like I said at the beginning, is that Dantes doesn't kill anybody.
Doesn't he,
But
though, at the end? Doesn't he break someone into a wall at the end of the story?
that's Edgar Allan Poe.
Is that Poe I'm thinking of? Oh, okay.
That's a famous Poe one.
Gotcha.
See, now you got me thinking. I know it's a Poe thing specifically, but I don't know if he did it.
I feel like they might have put it in the movie, is what it is. They might have changed a bit for the movie. Let me check.
They might have changed it for the movie. Anyhow, so one of the guys kills themselves. One of the guy retreats, goes into poverty. I think it's the... No, it's not Cataros. It is Danglers. Danglers is the one that was greedy. He's the one that wanted the job.
Yep.
And these are going to be quick summaries because I don't exactly remember the order of how all this happens. But with Danglers, the Count of Monte Cristo approaches him as a wealthy businessman with investment opportunities, things like Spanish bonds and I don't know if it's real estate or other shipping companies and whatnot, but it's all bad information. But Danglers, being greedy and seeing that the Count is rich and has all of these, he's an affluent guy.
Yeah.
Must know what he's talking about. Hernan vouches for him because he saved his son. Why wouldn't I invest with this guy, right?
Yep.
Or not invest with him, but invest in the things that he's talking about.
Exactly.
It turns out to be all bad investments. He loses all of his money. Where is it? The notes say that. The internet says that the Count manipulated some of the financial markets in order for the downfall to happen. I don't exactly remember how that happened or it happened.
It would be through the merchant family that he would finance. At least from understanding how the story is going, he probably used that influence with the merchants and the merchant family to manipulate stocks.
Right.
And
you should be a merchant. Right. Yeah, probably something along those lines. But basically, Danglers thinks he's getting insider information, invests all of his money into this thing, and it's just the bottom falls out of it.
Yep.
Right? And so what happens to that dude is that he ends up like kind of, I don't know, down on luck. He ends up working for the bandits.
Oh.
That were originally had kidnapped Albert, right?
Gosh.
But because they're buddies with the Count of Monte Cristo, what the bandits do is that they essentially charge this guy to death, into destitution. It's like, yeah, you can work for us, but you have to pay for your cot and you have to pay for your food, and now it's more expensive, and now we want more money from you. And so like he's not, the amount of work that the physical labor that he's doing isn't matching up to the cost of living. It's like this indentured servitude kind of scenario, and this guy ends up, he doesn't work himself to death, but he works himself to the street, right? He becomes this destituted bum.
Just becomes a beggar on the side of the road, smelly and broken, basically.
Right. Now, Villefort, the prosecutor, is an interesting one. One, because of his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Is that Julianne?
Helen.
Oh, no. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, Valentine is her name.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So, I don't exactly remember how it happened, but there's like a stepmother aspect to it. I think the mother died.
Yeah, Valentina. Yeah.
Villefort remarries and yeah. Ah, okay. Okay, whatever. I'm like, oh, that's how that went down. Yeah, he remarries, but the daughter, the Valentine lady, like she's kind of this like, she's an upstanding person, nice young lady, whatever, and she's taking care of the grandfather. And at some point in time, the stepmother is trying to poison people in the family so that she can inherit all the wealth. And that includes the grandfather, the daughter. I don't know if it's Villefort himself, but she's kind of scheming on the side. And then Villefort himself, he had an affair with somebody in the past and they had a baby. And he tried to bury that baby.
Oh, got you.
And that baby lived. And that baby is named Benedetto. And I don't know how this came to be, but he is one of the guys that ends up, he's almost like an adopted son of the Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh yeah, right? Doesn't he like scoop him up off the streets at one point? I feel like.
Well, he does. The Count of Monte Cristo does that to two people, right?
Yeah.
There's two people. He does that to the boy Benedetto, and then there's this girl named Haiti. Haiti is the daughter of this king, this tribe king from India or Greece or something like Greece.
Okay.
Who was doing business with danglers, I believe.
Okay.
And then danglers like double crossed him, sold him to the slave market. And at some point after Cristo had gotten his wealth, Cristo had found these people and bought them, and essentially freeing them from the slave market. And then the Ali guy goes into work. He just ends up working for Count of Monte Cristo. And then Haiti, she just kind of exists. Like she's just this. He gets her apartments wherever he's at. He gets a private apartment for her, and she kind of just lives there in her little luxury. You know, she's not a slave. She's referred to as his slave, or was a slave, but he treats her kind of almost like I don't want to say a mistress because there's no implication of like sexual aspect to it.
No, yeah, it's not
a daughter because he eventually falls in love with her. So I don't want to. There's no like incestual kind of angle there either. But it's basically, you know, he takes care of her as a benefactor, I guess without. But there's a reason for it. I mean, there's more than just he's just taking care of her. But as far as Villefort is concerned, what happens is that like there's this case that's happening because he's a prosecutor, and there's a case that's happening. Let me read up on that real quick.
Oh, I understand now. Sorry, I'm also looking at some of the plot threads and all that. And Valentine and Maximilian Morel, the other wife of
Morel's
Ed
son.
Morel. Well, no, because those two run away in a scandalous lesbian relationship.
Wait, which two?
The Maximilian Morel and Valentine, apparently. At least that's what this source says. It might not be correct.
Oh, no, it's not lesbian. So Maximilian is the son of the ship merchant that looked over Dante's father.
Got you. Okay. So where does this plot thread go?
He and Valentina, whatever, are in love. But he doesn't have status or some bullshit like that because, you know, because their family had fallen on hard times. And with Valentina, because the stepmom is on this poisoning spree, trying to kill everybody, Dante's concocts some shit to make it look like she's been poisoned and dies. Maximilian, again, he's a good kid. This is part of the good family. He's going to kill himself because this is like a Romeo and Juliet thing almost. He's going to kill himself because she's dead. The Count of Monte Cristo convinces him to wait. Hey, yeah, just give me a month. Give it a month. If you feel the same way, go for it, kind of thing. Not knowing that the Count of Monte Cristo is basically holding Valentine on the side. I think she may have stayed with Haiti. I don't know that for a fact, but she may have been like posted up with Haiti in the apartment over there, just kind of quasi in hiding of sorts.
Gotcha.
Because that was all part of the plot to expose the stepmom and Villefort in court with the illegitimate son and bring shame upon the family.
Gotcha.
And that's what he pulls off with Villefort. He's right here.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got Cateros, we've got Villefort.
I didn't even know Danglers was supposed to marry that person. Interesting. Okay.
Who was he's supposed to marry?
Benedetto.
Benedetto's the son.
Yeah, and apparently it's Danglers, Eugenie Danglers, apparently, or yeah, Andrea Cavalcati. I do not know how to say that last name. That's at least what, like I said, like what this source says. It could be completely wrong, but I'm just looking at the actual like plot threads of why everyone is connected and what ways they were connected, that kind of thing, so I can understand it a bit better too.
We're already running an hour here. I need to speed up my talk here.
No, it's fine. I mean, I took like an hour and a half too for mine.
Right. So he gets his revenge on the neighbor by basically feeding him his own greed. And the guy just couldn't get enough of it. He takes out Villefort by exposing the illegitimate the son and bringing shame upon the family and exposing the poison stuff.
Got you.
With Danglers, he manipulates the financial markets, drives him into bankruptcy, and sends him into the streets as a beggar. And so the last one he's got is Fernand. And I mean, Fernand's the main one, right? He's the main guy that he wants to get. And essentially how he does that is that he eventually, I guess, exposes himself to Mercedes and says, "Hey, I'm Dante's. Remember me? All those years ago." And he kind of gets the story. She gives him the, I cried and I thought you were dead and he was there and what else was I supposed to do kind of speech as to why she ended up marrying the guy. And he confronts him. There's not a fight that I remember, but it's just basically Dante's taking off his Cristo mask and saying, "This is who I am. I know what you did. Here's everything that I've done to ruin your life. Fuck you. I'm out." I'm out. Yeah. The white Mercedes and Albert take off. They leave. Fernand kills himself. And it all gets wrapped up with him returning to Haiti, being like, "You know what? I love you. Let's run away together." And they leave. And it's kind of like this kind of like quasi happily ever after. After I've destroyed everybody's life that I wanted to destroy, now I get this happily ever after that I've been basically should have gotten 20, 30 years ago from Mercedes.
Exactly.
Um, I can promise you that the book is very much well told in relation to the way that I gave it to you.
Mm.
It is worth the read, but it's not an exciting read. Like it's nothing like any of the lit RPG or the modern day fantasies where you got a lot of action. It's a lot of setup for a lot of the book, and then you get to like I don't even know the last quarter maybe, and then the plot gets fleshed out. Then it's not until the very end of the book that you're told or you're shown, and if you're smart enough maybe you figured some of it out by then. I wasn't. I was like, oh shit, oh fuck, that's related. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't making the connections. So when these things were all like brought out to the surface, I was like, holy shit, man, he really put a lot of thought, a lot of work, a lot of time and effort into putting every piece into place and executing every part of the plan so that it all tumbled the way that it did. And I think that's the aspect of it that a lot of people, especially, scorned men, they want to plot their revenge, and it's a well plotted revenge for somebody that's just not going to go like murder hobo.
Yeah.
And, go like get roided out and get your biggest gun and start murdering people.
Exactly.
And again, and to just kind of cap this off, like I said at the very beginning, I was surprised to find out that it was a web serial. And it actually, because of the way that I'm trying to do my story, at least get my audience, right? Like, it's essentially the same thing. Being put out on a weekly basis, hoping that people will enjoy it and stick around for the next week, and, the ball keeps rolling, right?
Yeah.
And so I looked up I have a list of other famous stories that started off as serials. Would you like to hear them?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and I toned it down a little bit just because these are ones that I've heard of but didn't realize that they were serials.
Yeah.
So Oliver Twist.
Really? I did not know that was a serial as well. Interesting.
Actually, a number of his works are David Copperfield. Great Expectations these are all by Charles Dickens. This is in the 1800s, so the 19th century, 1800s. So The Three Musketeers was serialized. Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Crime and Punishment.
Oh, really?
Have you heard of that one?
I have not read it, but interesting. I did not know that was also
Russian. Yeah, again, I haven't read these either. I mean, I've read
some of them.
Three Musketeers, The Count of Monte Cristo. I've seen Oliver Twist or David Copperfield, or I know they've been made movies at some point, but yeah, Crime and Punishment. That's by a Russian author, Victor Hugo, Les Miserables.
Oh, Les Mis was also a serial. Interesting.
And then we get to the late 19th century, and 1897, I'm sorry, War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells.
Really? I did not know that was also there.
The Time Machine and the Invisible Man, also by H.G. Wells.
That one I think I knew was a serialization. I feel like I've heard that one being talked about as a serialization before.
A more modern one, The Green Mile by Stephen King.
Really?
It was published over the course of 6 months in paperback form.
Oh, got you.
And then it was put together as one volume.
Okay. Got you.
The Martian by Andy Weir.
The Martian?
Said it was originally this says it's originally self-published chapter by chapter online. Now, mind you, I have not gone and verified this. Internet could be lying to me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why it would. Why would the internet lie to me?
Well, because the internet's filled with misinformation.
But yeah, I just found those kind of interesting. Like, oh shit, like these are famous stories that a lot of people have enjoyed that started off as kind of a free to read. I mean, the serializations were in newspapers, so you had to buy the newspaper or the magazine, right? But,
Yeah.
But still, I, for whatever reason, my brain was like, Royal Road's being innovative, and I've never heard of this before. And it's like, just because I haven't heard of it before doesn't mean it hasn't happened before. So this was kind of like a nice little epiphany that I had about, like, shit, this has been going on for a really long time.
Oh, yeah.
And I just didn't realize it.
I didn't realize how long it's been going on either. That's insane that it's been going on for pretty much that length of time. I didn't realize they were doing that many serializations back then that they were doing.
I mean, Sherlock Holmes is on this list too. I don't know why I didn't mention that.
Oh, I mean, Sherlock is one of those ones where everyone knows it was a serialization, though. That's one of the more popular ones.
Yeah, I think that's why I removed it.
Fun little thing
so,
about Monte Cristo that I didn't know. Mercedes and Fernand are actually cousins. And I did not know that.
Really?
Yeah. Which makes it even weirder. Yeah, because her last name is Mercedes Mondego and Fernand Mondego. At least from being married. But yeah, they're cousins. I did not know that.
That's very Lannister of them.